I think, a lot of people hear this talk of job creation, better healthcare, better schools, but maybe don't understand practically how that's done. So again, a year into your premiership, what can people in KZN expect to see?
So let me draw on some of the practical examples of where we have been in government. And let's be honest here. There are a lot of political parties who claim that they've got all the solutions but have no experience in running not even a ward, let alone a local municipality or province. There are 3 parties in South Africa that have run a province, only 2 currently that run a province. That's the DA, ANC and IFP. And what is the best performing province out of all of those? Regardless of how you feel or which side of the bed you wake up on, the statistics say that the Western Cape is the best run province in South Africa on many metrics. The most number of people getting bachelor's pass rates, the most number of people who are staying in education until they finish, the best public health care facilities, the lowest unemployment, the most foreign direct investment. On almost all metrics, the Western Cape, not by DA standards, but by national government, is working. So what are some of the things that we have done practically there? So the first thing is to invest in the devolution of policing powers. In other words, to bring policing closer to the province. The Western Cape government, in partnership with the local municipalities, have deployed 1,000 LEAP officers, and that's their program to fight back crime in high crime areas. And they've seen a reduction. Unlike KZN, where you have some of our police stations like Umlazi and Plesisle being the highest in the country with no interventions. So that's a practical example of how we can intervene in crime. Let's look at job creation. If your towns and villages are inaccessible, then you will never bring development into rural areas, towns and cities. So many people often comment, they say we hardly ever see potholes when we travel to the Western Cape, and that is not by chance. That is because there's a deliberate effort to make infrastructure work. If you look at the city of Cape Town, they're investing more into bulk infrastructure than Johannesburg and eThekwini combined. And this is their commitment to what they call future-proofing the city. What does that mean? It means making sure that there's water and electricity, roads and other infrastructure long into the future, catering for future needs, not only now. So this is long-term planning. These are practical things to create jobs, to create confidence in government, to build safer communities, and to ensure that there are, as I said before, opportunities for people to better themselves.
But you can't talk about Cape Town and not talk about the fact that generally the sentiment is that the DA is only governing in the suburbs and that there are scores of people in places like Gugulethu and Khayelitsha who don't receive services. What do you have to say about that?
The first thing is to say that people often frame that as if there's no other townships in South Africa. So yes, there's Gugulethu, Nyanga, Khayelitsha, but there's Umlazi, Tembisa, Inanda, Ezakheni, there's Mbali, Edendale, there's Mpopomeni, are so many townships in not just our province but the country. When last did you go to a township in an ANC-run municipality? Let's use Umlazi for an example. The parks are filthy and broken. The hospital, Prince Mshieni, is basically a place where people go to find a mortuary. The unemployment is so high and there's very little entrepreneurship in that town because there's no support. You compare that to somewhere like Khayelitsha or Nyanga, where you have recreational parks being established to keep kids off the streets, where you have these LEAP officers bringing down crime rates in places like Nyanga, which was once one of the highest police stations in the country in terms of violent crimes. You have, the statistic is 8 out of 10 people in the Western Cape are working, but 7 out of 10 people in South Africa are not. So these are the type of things that you have to compare. The Khayelitsha hospital is better than most private facilities. So yes, townships exist in the Western Cape just as they exist in every other province. But the quality of life of people in township is far better than under ANC-run local governments. Are there challenges? Yes, of course there are. In any lower income community, there are challenges that government must face. Whether it's unemployment, whether it's social problems, whatever it might be, the deficit of infrastructure left from apartheid. But these things have to be confronted. You go to Khayelitsha, you can jump on public transport. and travel for less than what it costs on a taxi to the CBD where the job opportunities are. What other ANC-run city has functional public transport like that? Definitely not Durban, which has spent billions of rands on a public transport system that sits unused. So the point is this, is that right at the beginning of our discussion, you said, Chris, what motivates you? And I said it is to bring equal opportunities for everyone to be able to improve their lives. Under a DA government, that's what we try to do. Try to better your opportunities so that you can better your life. Whether it is spending money on infrastructure so that you have clean running water and sanitation, building new hospitals and clinics or public transport, like we see in the city of Cape Town and the Western Cape. We want to make it easier for you to be successful, for you to achieve your dreams. And that's the complete opposite in places such as eThekwini. We see a continued regression and people unable to access those opportunities and reach their dreams.